Eleanor, and I'm Danielle, one of the lead pastors at Pioneer Church, a brand new life-giving church coming to Auburn. And we want to say a huge thank you to, Eleanor, who do we want to say thank you to? People, or our doctors and our nurses, really anyone who's been on the front lines of this pandemic. Okay, hold on, let's finish filming. Okay, really anyone who's been working in the medical field these past few months, we want to give you a free cup of coffee. You can head down to Zola's this Thursday and Friday and just say, I'll have a coffee on Pioneer Church. And that's our treat to you, just to say thank you for all that you've been through. Eleanor, you want to say thank you?
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, it's the end of the day, and I did not check off everything that I wanted to check off today. In fact, my kitchen smells like bacon. We did breakfast for dinner tonight. It's one of our favorite things to do, but it always ends up leaving a mess of grease on the griddle back there that I haven't cleaned up yet. But I don't know if you're like me. It's in moments like this that it's the end of the day and everything didn't go the way that I had planned it or scheduled it or get everything checked off. And to be honest, I just end up feeling just a little crummy about myself. Like I just feel upset at myself for not doing everything that I wanted to get done. And I just feel bad. And so actually, it's something that the Lord's really been working with me on, that, all of my doing does not add up to fulfillment. And in fact, being with Him is the fulfillment that I'm looking for. And so one of the things that the Lord's just kind of been showing me is I ended up reading in Luke the story of Mary and Martha. Martha was one of those people, probably much like myself, who she probably loved lists as much as I do, and accomplishing those things and checking stuff off. In fact, Mary and Martha and Lazarus were pretty good friends with Jesus. They were probably used to preparing for Him and His disciples to come over pretty often. And so we come across one of these times that, and I want to read for you, that Luke tells us about. And we're going to start off in chapter 10, verse 38. And it says, as Jesus and His disciples continued on their way to Jerusalem, they came to a certain village where a woman named Martha welcomed Him into her home. Her sister Mary sat at the Lord's feet listening to what He taught. Now, offhand, that might not sound like a big deal, but actually something pretty incredible just happened there. You see, Martha welcomed Him into her home, which is totally normal. Like I said, Mary and Martha probably spent some time preparing for Jesus to come. Another translation says that Martha made Him feel quite at home. And I love that. Wouldn't that be an amazing thing to make Jesus feel at home? And really, this was women's purpose during this time. We're talking about a part of history that women did not have a lot of worth and they didn't have a lot of value. But this was their purpose in life, to be able to create a home, and when people came over, you were able to host them and provide for them and serve them. And here we have Martha welcomed Him, and then when Jesus is there, her sister Mary sat at the Lord's feet listening to what He taught. And this is pretty incredible because, like I said, at this time, a woman's role was to prepare and be in the kitchen and then to serve her guests, not sit at His feet and listen to Him teach, which is what the men would do with a rabbi. So this was not a place for women to do. She was not expected to do this. In fact, she was expected to be in the kitchen, which is where Martha was. Martha was there getting things done, and Mary was at the feet of Jesus. And so this is so kind of controversial that Martha ends up interrupting Jesus. And it says here, but Martha was distracted by the big dinner she was preparing. She had this huge list of things to get done, that she came to Jesus and said, Lord, doesn't it seem unfair to you that my sister sits here while I do all of the work? Tell her to come and help me. She felt so right in what she was doing that she interrupts Jesus, throws her sister under the bus, and is wholeheartedly expecting Jesus to agree with her and listen to what He says. He doesn't say, you're right, Martha. Mary should be in there with you. She needs to go back to what she's expected to do. No, this is what he says. And this is what I feel like, man, he's saying to me, and maybe he's saying to you. My dear Martha, you are worried and upset over all of these details. There is only one thing worth being concerned about. Mary has discovered it, and it will not be taken from her. He just looks at Martha and says, look, all of your doing is not fulfillment, but being with me is. And y'all, I've been trying to just kind of soak that in these past few days, because what I love about Martha and Mary is that we actually end up seeing this kind of play out again another time in scripture. And it's not the same story. It's not the same instance. It's actually later on. And in the book of John tells a story, tells of a time where Jesus and his disciples end up going to Martha and Mary's house. And they're going, and it says that Martha is in the kitchen serving. So again, Jesus had invited her at this instance to say, look, all of your doing is not fulfilling, but instead I invite you into this relationship with me, this intimacy with me. And what do? We find her down the road. She's still serving in the kitchen. And again, we find Mary at his feet. And this is actually where Mary ends up doing this really extravagant show of affection for Jesus. And she takes this really expensive perfume and she pours it over his feet and she washes his feet. And it's just this incredible act of showing how much that she loved him, and how she had made being at his feet and spending time with him a priority. And you could see that in just this elaborate show of her love and her affection for Jesus. And I love that it just didn't happen that one time, that Mary wasn't just at his feet that one time, but then it seemed like it probably ended up becoming a lifestyle for her. And I just feel like that's what the Lord is constantly reminding me of, that Danielle, all of your doing is not fulfillment. All your list and getting things done, which never end up getting done, is not going to bring you fulfillment. But finding that one thing, being with me, being in his presence, waking up just a little bit early, just early enough to listen to one song to help set my mind and my thoughts right. To read through a few scriptures to help get my heart right, to spend just a little bit of time to ask the Lord to give me my perspective and give him the day, really, and say the day is yours. That's my fulfillment.
Narrow as the road may seem,
I hope you found that encouraging this evening, and just even taking a moment right there to, during the worship song, to maybe quiet your heart and settle your soul a little bit and just kind of focus in and say, Lord, I don't want to fuss so much about all of the doing and all the to-do lists, but instead I want to make you a priority. And so I just want to invite you to do that. What that can look like for you is maybe waking up just a little bit earlier than what you normally do, and go to the Bible app, read the verse for the day. I'm not even talking about reading a whole chapter. Read a verse for the day. Give the Lord just a few moments. Listen to a worship song and say, Lord, I'm going to give this next little bit. I'm going to give this next 15 minutes to you, to focus on you, to be at your feet, and knowing that that is going to bring true fulfillment.
Hey everybody, Kirby here, and I just want you to know we've had such an amazing time at our startup parties this month. We met a group of incredibly passionate and faith-filled people who've actually become a part of our launch team, and we're so excited about that, but we're not done. You see, we've been praying daily for God to draw people to our team who are excited about their faith, ready to serve their city, and you could be the answer to those prayers. And so if you're interested in joining our team, reach out to us. We would love to connect with you, hear your story, and share our vision for this new church coming to Auburn. We can't wait for you to join us.